Hey everyone, this is Steve Black, and welcome back to the Let's Talk Referrals podcast. Today I'm tackling something that keeps business owners up at night: referrals, or more specifically, the lack of them. Okay, maybe it's not keeping you awake at night, but it's probably something that we should be getting more of, right? You know the feeling. You've got happy customers. You've built a solid product or service. But when it comes to getting those customers to actually refer you to their friends, their family, or their colleagues, nothing. So, what do most of us do? We create referral programs. We craft the perfect email template. We coach our sales teams on the ask. We offer incentives. We practically beg. And yet, the referrals still trickle in at best. But here's the thing: what if I told you that the problem isn't your referral program at all? What if the real issue is that you're asking the wrong question entirely? I'm going to explore a completely counterintuitive idea that the secret to getting more referrals isn't about perfecting the way you ask for them. It's about something much bigger and much more powerful. Let's start with the hard truth. Most businesses treat referrals like just another marketing tactic. It's something you do at the end of a sale. You check the box, you move on to the next customer. But this view of referrals is fundamentally broken. Think about it this way: when was the last time you referred a business to someone you care about? I'm willing to bet it wasn't because they had a great referral program or because they just asked you at the right moment. And if it was, great. But it was probably because your entire experience with that company was so good, so memorable, that you couldn't help but tell people about it. Or you're a BNI member and that's just what you do. Because, and this is the key really, referrals aren't a tactic, they're a destination. And what do I mean by that? Well, successful businesses understand that the customer journey is a complete process. It starts the very first moment someone hears your name, that initial brand awareness, and it extends all the way through to long-term loyalty. And the referrals, they're the ultimate expression of that loyalty. Think of it like climbing a mountain. Brand awareness is going to be your base camp. The first purchase is reaching the first checkpoint. Post-purchase support and repeat purchases, these are all stages along the climb, and each one is a test of whether you're worthy of that customer's trust. Only when you consistently pass these tests over and over again does the customer reach the summit, the peak, where referring you to others becomes a natural, unprompted behavior. They don't refer you because you asked. They refer you because the journey proved you were worthy, and your ask becomes just another reminder. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, that sounds great, but I've had plenty of satisfied customers who never refer anyone. What about them? And that's a perfectly good question because it brings us to our next big idea. You're building a relationship, not just a transaction. Here's the difference: a single smooth transaction might create a satisfied customer. Someone who got what they paid for, had no problems, and moved on with their life. And sure, they're satisfied. But satisfied doesn't make them an advocate, a fan. A referral worthy experience goes so much more deeper than that. It's rooted in the understanding that customer experience isn't just about the sale, it's about the customer's entire relationship with your company. And I mean entire, from the very first point of awareness all the way through years of doing business together. And this completely redefines what you're trying to accomplish. You're not just trying to complete a sale. Well, you are, but that's not the purpose for referrals. What you're doing is nurturing an involving personal relationship with your client. And here's why that matters. Relationships, unlike transactions, are built on kind of deep trust that fuels authentic recommendations. Think about your own life. You don't recommend restaurants to friends because the transaction of ordering food went smoothly. You recommend them because you have a relationship with that place. They know your name or they remember your usual order. They've made you feel like more than just another credit card swipe. And that's really what we're talking about here. The customer experience is far more than just a routine interaction or the lifespan of a single sale. It's an ongoing relationship that deepens over time. So, we're building relationships, not just processing transactions. But here's where things get really interesting and where most businesses completely miss the boat. If you're only mapping the visible touch points in your customer journey, the clicks, the purchases, the support tickets, you're only reading half the story. Let me explain what I mean. When a customer interacts with your business, there are two journeys happening simultaneously. There's the visible journey. They visit your website, they add items to the shopping cart, or they contact you for an estimate. They complete the checkout, they order the product, they receive the product. Maybe they contact customer support. But there's also an invisible journey happening at the exact same time. And this invisible journey is where true loyalty is actually forged. I'm talking about the customer's thoughts, their inner feelings throughout the entire process. What are they thinking when they land on your website? Are they feeling overwhelmed by too many options? Excited about what they're discovering? Uncertain about whether to trust you? What emotions surface when they're just about to click that buy now or contact us or fill in that form? Is there anxiety about making the wrong choice? Confidence because you've clearly answered their questions? And after the purchase, when they're waiting for delivery or trying to use what they bought, what's going through their mind then? This invisible journey of thoughts and feelings is absolutely critical for generating referrals. Because here's the thing, a customer who simply completes a transaction might be satisfied, but a customer who feels understood and valued throughout the entire process, that person becomes a loyal advocate. Now, how do we actually do this? How do we start paying attention to this invisible journey? Well, this is where a tool, and it's something you can draw out yourself, it's called a customer experience map. And no, it's not a complicated corporate exercise that only big companies with huge marketing budgets can use. A customer experience map is simply a way to visualize the complete story through your customer's eyes. It charts both their actions and their feelings over time across every communication channel they use with you. If you've received a referral, how did that go? If you found that they found you from the website, how did that go? What made them think or feel about you in that moment? So when you create one of these maps, you start to see patterns you never noticed before. You spot the moments where customers feel frustrated, even if they never complain. You identify the unexpected delights that create emotional peaks in their journey. You discover gaps where customers are left wondering what happens next. And most importantly, you begin to see opportunities to turn every single stage of their journey into a moment that builds trust, demonstrates value, and deepens that relationship. So let's bring this all together, right? Building a referral-driven business requires a fundamental shift in how you think about referrals. You've got to stop chasing these short-term tactics and start architecting an experience that does three things. First, it treats referrals as the earned destination of the journey, not a marketing tactic at the end of a sale. Second, it builds a genuine relationship that extends far beyond any single transaction, even if you only have customers that buy from you once. And third, it honors the customer's invisible journey, their thoughts and feelings, not just their visible actions. And if you can make this shift, when you make this shift, everything changes. Every stage of your customer's journey becomes an opportunity. That first time a person hears your name, opportunity. The research phase before they buy, opportunity. The referral when they were sent to you, an opportunity. The purchase experience itself, opportunity. The support they receive long after the sale, another opportunity. Each of these moments is a chance to build the kind of relationship that doesn't need to be asked for a referral. It earns one. The ask becomes a reminder, not a pressure point. I get it. What I'm describing here sounds like a lot more work than just creating a referral program with a nice incentive attached. And you're right, it is more work. But here's what I've learned. The businesses that are thriving, the ones with more referrals and more word of mouth that spreads like wildfire, they're not the ones with the best referral programs. They're the ones with the best customer experiences. They're the companies that have stopped asking, how do we get more referrals? And started asking, how do we create an experience so remarkable that our customers can't help but tell everyone about it? And that's a very different question. And it leads to very different and much more powerful answers. So here's my challenge to you. Take an honest look at your business and ask yourself, are you merely processing transactions, or are you authoring a customer story so compelling that it begs to be shared? Because in the end, that's what this all comes down to. The businesses that earn referrals aren't the ones that ask for them the most. They're the ones that deserve them the most. So you've got to start mapping your customer journey today and see where you can create a wow experience. Okay, that's it for today. Don't forget to check out the article, the long form article here on Substack, where I go into this in a lot more detail. You can find that and more at letstalkreferrals.substack.com. This is Steve Black with Let's Talk Referrals. Thanks for listening.